What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Amalgam Show. I'm one of your Keena Johnson alongside Nathaniel Redden.
Ayo.
Dean Kaminsky.
You nearly called me Nathaniel.
Nathaniel Redden too.
And Shannon Hagler.
Hi.
It's like riding a bike. How are we all doing?
Yeah, really good.
What's the Amalgam Show?
None of us have COVID. What's it about? The Amalgam Show is about nerdy pop culture stuff and things we care about.
Yeah, for all our new listeners.
Yeah, all 941,000 of you.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it has been a while since our last episode. COVID times, I think, depressed us all.
Well, the idea was when COVID finished, we would get back in touch and do it. And it didn't finish.
No. Well, I mean, we live in Australia, and about this point, about as good as finished will be.
We're not in Melbourne.
Yeah, we've got a.
No, we're not in Melbourne.
Not in Melbourne. I mean, we've got like a relatively.
You'd know if we were from Melbourne.
Yeah.
We'd tell you.
Tell you every 4 seconds.
We'll let you know.
We've got a relative amount of normality, and the vaccine's about to start rolling out. So
It'll be fun. Who's anti-vax here?
No, fuck off.
Ain't putting that shit in my body.
I want to be those old people who got like a 4 times overdose. That's what I want. Yeah. I'm not anti-vax. Give me all the vax.
What? Do they have multiple vaccines?
Yeah, 2 elderly people. There was a guy. There's a doctor in the Gold Coast, I think, who didn't do the training correctly or at all. So the vaccine comes in 2 vials.
Right.
You're supposed to give like one after another, like you do it in 2 doses.
Right.
But he just gave all of it at once.
Oh my god.
And so it equivalent out to like a 4 times overdose for these old people, and they're like monitoring them, like, like, is it? So far, there's not like I don't think anything's actually like there's been no adverse reaction to
That's
it.
because it's a fad. It doesn't exist. It doesn't do anything. It's just water.
And then 125
That'll
doses.
do stuff.
That will do stuff.
No, mate,
It'll do bad stuff
I'll
to
be
you.
very hydrated.
Yeah. And then there was 125 doses that had to be just trashed because we didn't store them correctly when they crossed over.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We didn't get that.
So
that Dippin' Dots.
our government has done better than most, but holy shit.
It's not like the bar's very high.
No, it's not.
Very much that meme of the person with the bike and jamming a stick into their own front wheel.
UK literally just went, what if everyone got it?
Yeah. They just went with like the chickenpox approach.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just give it to everyone, and
Oh, hang on a second, this
Yeah.
isn't the same.
we'll just go to Meredith's place, and everyone will lick the baby. Right? That'll make us immune.
If you like what you're about to watch, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions for the show, please comment below or email us at amalgam@gmail.com. And yeah, that's all for this time.
It's gonna probably be a long one. There's been a lot.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
And check us out on social media at the Amalgam Show everywhere except for
Bebo.
What is that?
exactly.
Oh, really? You didn't? Holy shit!
No.
I'm old, apparently. Fuck.
What's Bebo?
This is pre-MySpace.
Hey, Grandpa.
It's a MySpace contemporary.
Okay.
It was at the same time as MySpace, and it just recently had like a slight resurgence because of the Australian Facebook news thing. A bunch of people around my age were like, "Oh, let's fucking get my Bebo account back."
Was this back during dial-up?
Yeah.
No.
No, it was fucking.
My sister
band
told me
times.
that was a monster coming to get me whenever we connected. She'd be like, "Yeah, that's a monster," and I'm like, "Ah! I just want to play Miniclip and Spider-Man typing games."
I can't believe how many years we all lived through that, and I didn't know. Maybe you guys did that. You can mute that.
What?
Fuck what?
The dial-up modem noise, that thing when it was, you can mute that.
Why would you make that a thing?
Because it's a default to that.
It defaults to it, but you can mute it.
But why make it a noise?
It,
Which marketing company was like, "That's what I want to hear"?
it is the same because the old dial-up system was just basically your computer making a telephone call to the internet.
Yeah.
So it's just the sound of that.
You couldn't
line.
use the phone while someone was connected to the
Exactly.
internet. Yeah.
It's just the sound of that line connection. That's all it was. But you can just turn that off if you don't want to hear it.
What the fuck?
I imagine it's the same. Like, reverse ringing. Like it's just like there's the way the phones ring.
Yeah.
Like it's just that.
Yeah, it's just the way internet sounds when it dials up. That's all it is.
I mean,
but yeah, I found that out like 2 or 3 years ago that I could have muted that all my life, and I was like, what a weird fucking thing.
Jesus.
We only had internet like that for a little bit because I didn't know that I never had it growing up. It took me a very long time for my brother to go, oh, we're getting the internet, and I thought, oh, okay, what is that?
What is the internet? What's an internet, father?
We were getting it installed, and he's like, why are you bringing your computer out here? I'm like, I don't
know.
what is...
Put the internet
What's the
on
hype on this?
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to try Cherry Coke on camera for the first time. I've never had
Oh,
it
you're
before.
trying it for the first time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're not sponsored.
No.
No.
Cherry Coke.
Us, sponsored.
If you don't like it, I'll have the rest of it. I love
So it doesn't come in Australia to the point where it has to cover up the bullshit because of like calories.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we have
don't
to...
do that here.
Not only that, but we also have to, like, in our country, you have to legally tell us what's inside your shit before we drink it.
So here we go.
You have to make sure it's not rat poison.
Found that one out the hard way.
Yeah, that's why we don't have Code Red Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Like, legally, it's not a drink.
It's fine.
It's fine.
What does it taste like?
I mean, they sold cherry coke here in Australia for like a very short time.
Yeah,
it was a
it's-
thing.
Tastes like medicine. Dr. Pepper.
Dr.
No,
Pepper.
here's the thing. Dr. Pepper Cherry, I really do like it.
I love Dr. Pepper.
I think it tastes terrible.
Like Dr. Pepper is just a weird ethereal thing to begin with.
Maybe we can do this next podcast because I've never had Dr Pepper.
We can go up to that. We'll go up to that.
Yeah, we'll go up to that
confectionery
thing.
store.
Yeah, we'll go get some
And
Dr
that's
Pepper.
this is how we reboot Pizza Time.
Soda time.
Fuck.
400 subscribers who are like, what the fuck are they talking about?
400 subscribers are like unsubscribed.
Oh yeah, we got subscribers from that video, didn't we? That's
yeah,
right.
like a shit ton.
I'm gonna
Many.
live read
Should
it.
we address... Let's do this. Let's address the rest of the Assassin's Creed games on PS5.
They're fine.
They're not broken. There's a reason we haven't done that video.
Yeah, I have recorded the videos, but I ran out of motivation to actually like go in, convert them.
We're currently at 579.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like go in, convert them because it natively records in not MP4. But if you want it at 4K, you have to record in non-MP4.
Yeah.
Surely you do a Let's Play series of Syndicate on the PS5.
Just that busted ass.
I am thinking of going through and
Is it-
platinuming it.
Is it still broken?
Yeah, Ubisoft hasn't touched
I
it.
think-
Fuck yes.
I think you should do that.
You should do that.
You should do
It's been said now. You have to do it.
Plenty time.
Yeah.
If you
Time?
do it,
30 seconds.
if you 30 seconds,
Milli views.
you're not wrong.
And then 18 hours.
Yeah, you'll be right.
That's like 18 views.
That's alright. We'll do it.
fine.
We'll do it. We'll watch you play it.
Every 30 seconds is a
We'll
milli
be
views.
the commentators.
10-minute video, that's 20 milli views. Done.
I'd love if someone shoutcasted me. Just like, oh shit, no, oh, he fell
I
again.
can do that. I can do that. I can shoutcast you.
It'll just be Keena in one box playing the game normally, and he can't hear anything to say. And then the rest of us are like, oh! I just imagine like wrestling.
Yeah, yeah.
He's coming in with the grappling hook!
And it bugged out again.
Oh, wait, no, that's Templar's music.
He can go all the way!
That'd be fun. So
But yeah, let's do that. Done.
Sure, right.
I mean, the shoutcast, sure, but I think you should do a Let's Play.
We should go
See
through.
how it goes.
We
do
should
a couple.
definitely go through more of Syndicate and
Absolutely.
just show more of that shit.
I think it will be funny for you to play a broken game because it was fixed when it first came out. Technically,
That's why
It
he's
is,
it
waiting.
wasn't like this.
it was better, and now it's broken. So play it.
Broken, fixed, broken.
Yeah,
Yeah. Excuse me.
do it.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed,
We never talk about that on this show.
Fuck! It's happening again!
because I just play the same 4 games over and over again. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, a PS3 game, on my PS4, 5. Yeah,
And it looks good.
it's fine.
I think that's probably
You
the.
and your fine shit.
Like it is, it's just a PS4 Pro version, just running exactly the same. The loading is too quick. When I finish, no, it's too quick. Like the part in the Da Vinci Disappearance for the DLC, where it's loading and Desmond's father and someone else is talking. It's like, oh, we found the coordinates, rah rah rah. But the dialogue cuts off because it loads in too quick.
Right.
So you don't actually get that exposition.
PS5 loads quick, yo.
Yeah.
It's really fucking quick.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't apply to all games. Like, I tried to boot up Assassin's Creed Odyssey and it's probably 10 seconds quicker, which is like still 40 seconds to load in. But
it's also got to do with optimization, though.
yeah. Yeah. And then Valhalla, the other Assassin's Creed game I've been playing. And then
You've been enjoying that, eh?
it's good. Yeah, the storylines are like, it's super like, it is super British politics from like that time. So it's like all the different, like, it's people, I forget all the names, like the Saxons and the
Yep.
it's
The good old fashioned blokes.
Yeah.
Sounds like an absolutely fascinating game.
There's the Saxons and all of them peoples that they killed.
Yeah.
It
Sounds like an episode of Horrible Histories.
It's the combat's still really good in it. You can dual wield shields.
Carving someone's head off and then someone does a little jaunty jig in the background.
I mean, have you seen Assassin's Creed folks?
God.
But no, it's good. They do some like really weird shit with the ending. They put you in it for all intents and purposes. Like you, the person.
As in like meta you holding the controller?
No, you. There's someone who looks like you in the game.
What?
Oh, as in Shannon
As in
specifically.
me,
Yeah.
specifically.
Oh.
Oh shit, okay.
Oh my god! This is a twist. And Nook's just like, who can I put in this game?
Specifically, it's a brown man with like a ponytail and like
sure.
dresses a pretty much a t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
Like that. I'm
Old
like, oh.
me, nigger me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-reboot Shannon.
Yeah, exactly.
Say mega? Or?
Nega.
Yeah,
Nega
you
me.
can't say that word, man. I thought
It's been cancelled.
I thought I caught that.
God.
It was good. It was good.
Anyway, so Shannon's in there.
I actually think legitimately the last time we did this I had a ponytail.
Fuck, would you have?
I think so.
Would have been. We had a podcast after your wedding, so
No, but I had longer hair after my wedding.
you did.
I'm talking post, like, because I cut it before my anniversary last year. And I think the last one we did was like in August.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And my anniversary is
If
in
only there
September.
was a way to find out.
Yeah. If only we had a device connected to the internet. Oh, wait.
What's the internet?
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, like Shannon and I both have PlayStation 5s.
Yeah, do you guys have any questions for us about PlayStation 5s?
How can I get one?
Yeah, how do I get one? I'll pay double on eBay.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, that's shit.
Yeah.
So
I like that the British government's trying to like ban bots and scalpers. Just like, this is weird. No. And America's just like, what about the shortage? Like, your country is on fire or frozen. Sort that shit out. We don't need to worry about whether the PlayStation 5 has superconductor shortages. Like,
The last time we did a podcast, it went up on October 1st, which we recorded just before I went away for my anniversary, and I got my hair cut that day after we did the podcast.
Jeez.
So yeah,
we found out.
yeah, there we go.
Hair's gone.
Hair's gone. So
Same.
Yeah.
This is a wig.
Let's cover up all that.
I don't know about you,
grays.
Keena, but I found myself in the same position I was with the PS4 when I first got it, which is there's nothing to play for it.
At least it's backwards compatible.
It is, yeah. So I got to play other stuff, but like there's nothing to play on it.
The thing I don't like about this generation is that like the games got a lot more expensive. Like it's over the $100 mark again. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I really want to try Demon's or even Sackboy, Demon's Souls or Sackboy, but they're both like $109, $124. I'm like,
Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad thing.
Ubisoft still keeps their games low, but like,
I feel like they're still trying to field that out.
At this point in time, most of what I've heard from people who have PS5s is that the PS5 is really good. What about the games?
the games that are out for it are good, but there's
Yeah.
not many of them.
The games are fine, but the thing is, there's nothing that I want to play. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to play Assassin's Creed.
How
Valhalla.
is Miles Morales? Have any of you played that?
Yeah, it's good. Like it's more Spider-Man. It's shorter, so it's like It feels closer to like an MCU movie, so you just barrel through it in like 6-7 hours.
Okay.
It's good. It's just more Spider-Man, and it does more setup for Spider-Man 2.
Oh, so it's not like a sequel to the original Spider-Man.
It's a 1.5.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
kind of
it's
set
like
in between.
Saints Row 4 to Saints Row 3. Just look, it could have been DLC.
Yeah.
It's more like Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or an Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yeah, it's like a standalone expansion type thing that's really good on its own, but it helps bring more context. The other one, it's fine, but I was kind of like, weirdly enough, I know Spider-Man was, 2017? 18? Right. I was kind of Spider-Man'd out. I kind of had my fill with the first game, so I didn't want a second one.
I reckon
So
by
soon?
the time the second one comes out...
I will
it'll be
probably want to,
challenging.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you can just barrel through miles and then...
Yeah, like at this point, I am aching for that Ratchet & Clank game. That's the thing that I think is going to be the showpiece game for this console, because they always give Insomniac a real, like... They always give Insomniac the hardware, like, months before anyone else.
Yeah.
Here you go, here's what you can do with it. And then they spend hours tinkering with it. Like, the last Ratchet & Clank game looks so fucking good on a PS4. Like,
Yeah.
it looks so good, so crisp, so clean. The particle effects are amazing. And
Animations are great, like...
yeah, and you're baffled as to how they did it on the console. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with those controller, because like the controller is the controller's the showpiece for the console. That's the be all end all of it. The controller is the whole thing. That and the fast load times.
Yeah.
Everything else is neither here nor there. But that controller is ungodly in what it can do, like how it revibrates, how it increases the tension on the triggers depending on what you're doing. The way it can make the surfaces from like hardwood to sand feel different when you're working on it, and ice.
Yeah,
It's damn near black magic. Like, it's really crazy. The problem is that those controllers are also apparently very fragile.
yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of reports. I haven't had a problem with mine yet, but
Yeah, but apparently, like, after a very specific amount of time...
417 hours is
Yep.
apparently the
like, you start getting, not Joy-Con drift, what do you call it?
stick drift. Just stick drift, yeah.
It could be renamed to Joy-Con drift because it happens so fucking often on Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
It's really baffling, because I feel like analog sticks was a solved problem. I feel like I never heard of PS1 or PS2 analog sticks having this problem.
I didn't have drift. My PS2 one just straight up, like, broke, so it was just like...
My PS4 controller had stick drift. I had to
Yeah,
replace.
exactly. The PS4, the Xbox One, and the Switch all had this stick drift problem occur, and I feel like it never used to happen.
I never had it with my Xbox One yet. But again, like, I played the shit out of Xenoverse and speedrunners on that thing, and that's all I've used it for.
I remember there was a problem with the PS2 in that when you boot up the PS2 and you had the controller plugged in, as it was booting up, it was calibrating the controller. So if you held the controller stick while it was booting up to one side, it would sense that over to the right was the dead zone for the stick. So when you let it go and then jumped into a game, your character would constantly run to the right because it thought the dead zone was over there. So you'd have to like reset your console and then make sure the controller was still...
not know that.
Yeah,
I never fucked with it when it was booting up. So.
Yeah. It was the only thing that I can remember being a problem, but like it's not like the controller was fine. You just fucked up the calibration.
N64, I know, always had like a bunch of broken analog sticks. Like I go.
Yeah, but their analog sticks were bad. That was the thing.
I don't think they had stick drift, but the one that we've got at home doesn't have stick drift, but it's loose.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really
It's because the analog stick there isn't analog, it's mechanical. It's a mechanical stick because it's got basically two pieces of plastic that run, and then like underneath it just kind of moves those pieces around.
Yeah.
And so the cool thing about it is that when the stick gets loose, you can still use it because it's still sensing that direction, but the stick gets loose.
Yeah.
Whereas the PlayStation analog sticks, like I said, I thought they were a solved problem. They've been really good for 3 generations, and then all of a sudden they're just like, nah.
Well, I think my
concave. They caved in.
My problem with the Joy-Cons was they were built wrong in the first place. They had to do a big recall, and then I think the recall lasted for like 2 weeks, and then they're like, all right, after this you have to fucking pay for your own replacements or some shit.
You have to pretty much go through an appeals process through Nintendo. And
Well,
Australia, like the ACCC, he's like, no, what you're doing is illegal, Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing
Get
about
your fucking shit out.
the good thing about living in Australia is that we do have those kind of laws of that, like, because like Sony's getting sued in America for the Joy-Con like for the stick drift on the controllers because they're not honouring replacements in America.
Yeah.
But like in Australia, they have no choice.
Yeah.
Like you replace that fucking thing, or you get your ass sued. Like that's
Yeah.
the only thing here.
Yeah. But yeah,
God bless the
I did
ACCC.
go through the trouble of contacting Nintendo, and they said it will cost this much
Yeah.
to get it sent. But I'm assuming, like, because they said it can cost up to this much, they probably say that so that you get scared out of sending it.
Yeah.
And then if you send it, they probably would just do it
Yeah.
for free. But yeah, it's happened to most of my Joy-Cons. But admittedly, I kind of feel like one of the issues with that was I've been putting it in my case, and I probably shoved way too much shit in
It's
that
probably-
case.
yeah.
I think it could be partially my
So I
fault.
still have my Joy-Cons from 2017 is when I got my Switch.
Yeah. Wait, when?
2017. I got it like 4 months after launch.
It's been that long.
Yep.
I think we got ours in 2018.
I got mine in.
'Cause I know-
I think I got mine in 2019, or
Because-
maybe late 2018.
Because I think I was like the second person in our group to get us. Oh no, you had a Switch before me. Did you?
I think so, maybe. I can't remember. I bought mine when I got paid one day, and I was like, fuck, I don't have to buy this thing this month, so and I bought the Switch instead.
You know, I've had mine basically since launch. Like it's like
Yeah.
the second wave of Switches. 4 months after release, because they were really hard to find. And I am yet to have a problem with my Joy-Con.
My Joy-Cons are fine. I did switch over mine last Christmas for like aesthetic purposes, but the other ones are fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it's just like I tend to have like good controllers.
I tend to have good luck with hardware in general, apart from Microsoft hardware, in which I have replaced every Xbox console I have ever owned because they have failed me in some way. But
Yeah.
I don't hold that. I don't think it's actually a problem with Microsoft. I think it's just my luck. I just have that kind of bad luck with Microsoft.
Except for the Red Ring, that was 100% their fault.
Oh, that was their fault, 100%.
That happened to me.
What else have we been up to? Or any other questions? Sorry about the PlayStation 5.
PS5. No, I've experienced the controller for like 5 or 10 seconds. That was awesome. Even just that small amount of time, I still remember how insane that felt.
It is again like it's hard to describe.
Yeah. I want a PlayStation 5. I can't warrant spending as much as they are offering.
Yeah.
That is
Even
fair.
for just a brand new console.
That is fair. It is a lot. It is a very expensive console.
Yeah. It's annoying me that it's taking so long for it to just become a readily available thing because
I mean-
all these people keep buying them up. And
So, for context, the same thing happened with the PS4.
yeah.
Like, identical. The PS4 launched in November and wasn't readily available for consumers to just walk in and purchase one until June of the following year. Like, it was exactly the same. And people back then kind of just like, that sucks.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like so much has changed in the world of consumerism in just the last 7 or 8 years, in that people want everything now, gotta have it now. Amazon's made the world like way too addicted to instant gratification, and like chill. Like, and that was the thing with the PS4 is that everyone was like, I really want it, but like there's nothing to play for it, so I guess I'll just wait. Till
Yeah, that's how.
and that was the
about
same. It's
PS5.
yeah. And the thing is, by the time the PS5 is readily available, there'll be a library to play.
Yeah.
There'll be at least by that point. I'm gonna hazard a guess that we'll probably have. By the time the PS5 is readily available, probably the Ratchet & Clank game will be out. Absolutely, we'll probably have Horizon Forbidden West out as well, and then we'll probably be on the verge of the next God of War. Like I would say, by the time you could probably buy one and just walk into a store, God of War will be 2 or 3 months out.
I think God of War comes out March next year.
That's what I'm thinking.
They're saying 2021. No.
No. Also because Sony really is smart at not overlapping their first party titles, like letting each first party title have like its own spotlight.
Yeah.
So like Ratchet & Clank always releases in June. It always releases right before E3. So it's
Yeah.
going to come out there and everyone's going to play it. It's going to be great. And then I suspect Horizon Forbidden West is like an October release.
Yeah.
But yeah, the console's really dope. I really like it. I just wish I had more to play on it.
Yeah. Like.
Because I played Demon's Souls and I fucking hate that game. At me. I don't care. Fucking hate that game. That game is trash.
Pretty though.
It's bullshit.
I've never been able to get into. I've never seen two pretty best friends. That happened. I've never really liked the Souls-like games.
I've decided to play it in the thought of like, I'll give it a shot. There's people who seem to like this, I will give it a shot. And then I came to the conclusion that it really frustrates me that the defense of that game is, well, that's how it was designed.
Yeah.
that doesn't excuse bad game design.
Yeah.
And I believe, honestly, that a lot of that early game is bad game design.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, ooh, you know, you have to figure out how to level up. No, they just don't tell you where to level up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a thing of like... It's not a thing of like, oh, they don't tell you or they try and vaguely tell you. They legitimately have a line of dialogue that says, oh, if you want to do something with your souls, you need to go see insert name here.
Yeah.
And then as they're saying that, there is a shot that goes in a cutscene of a place in the area you're in, like a statue nearby. And then you go there, and there's nothing fucking there.
Because they're not talking about the statue.
It's not, yeah, they're not talking about the statue at all. They just show you a statue. A random statue that has nothing to do with anything. They just show that to you as this is being said. But that's not being vague. That's just being fucking stupid.
That's lying.
Yeah. So I stood there, and there was because then the other thing about Dark Souls, the fun thing about Demon Souls, is that the mechanic they have where players can leave little messages for new players.
Yeah.
So if you connect to the internet, you get these little blood splatters on the ground, and there are some stupid ones like someone will be like, "Come this way," and you go that way, and something kills you. And you're like, funny. But there's one up near there. When I went to the area and I was like looking around, and it was just a note that says like, yeah, bet you're confused. And that was all it said. And I was like, yes, I am. Fuck you, guy who knows what's going on.
It's just one of the devs. Just like, you fucking idiot.
I was so mad. I was so mad at that game. And it's like, the difficulty of the dexterity challenge of playing that game doesn't bother me. Like, yeah, okay, I die. And I get better at it as I'm doing that. But like, at a certain point, my problem with roguelikes sort of started to butt up against it, which is that, like, I get the appeal of butting your head against a challenge until you get better at it and then completing it, but I just get bored because I'm bored of seeing the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm like, yeah, dodge this guy, move that thing, dodge that guy, kill that guy, right, cool, yeah. Like, I'm bored. I want to see something new.
Yeah.
And I see something new, I'm like, oh, new, dead. Okay, well, great. Like, I haven't had a chance to even explore your world because you've decided to make your game so fucking hard. And again, that design choice doesn't bother me.
That's the premise.
Yeah,
you know?
that's fine. It's the fact that you made it hard and then didn't do good enough on the side of, like, information, you know, the stuff that your players need to know to get better, just poorly done. And they're like, no, that's part of it. No, it's not. They fucked up.
Because they do improve on that. Because like Bloodborne is really good top to bottom. Like I like Blood. Yeah, I fucked myself over. Like I power leveled myself and then just blitzed through the game. I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't remember much of it, but I remember like you're being stuck in that first area for a while, but then like just cruising through the rest of the game, and like, oh no, I'm like, this is better pace. Like it just good.
Yeah, it just angers me that like you get that sort of like it's how the game's designed, and I'm like, well, Pokemon Sword and Shield is how the game is designed.
Yeah.
But that's not good enough for you, apparently. So like, what are we doing here? And it's the same argument like with the Mass Effect trilogy that's about to come out, where they're making changes artistically to some of the things that happened. Where basically the devs are like, yeah, probably not a great idea that when you see Miranda, the camera is always aimed at her ass. Probably going to change that, which is a fair change. Yeah. I know. But you've got all those people being like, it's how the game was made. And like, you can't, like you need to pick, because the same people who are saying, no, we need to change that Mass Effect stuff because the you know, times have changed and that game doesn't age well, so you need to make those changes to allow a new set of people in, are the same people who then I hear say, no, Dark Souls is a perfect game. Or Demon Souls is a perfect game. And I'm like, no, it's not. You can't have it both ways. So that was an artistic choice, so it either gets to stay in the game or you change it. And then same with Demon Souls, like they just kept it the same but made it pretty. And my thought was like, if you're going to do this, make the changes that need to be made.
I think Blue Point is always at that crossroads of like, do we improve it or do we just make it pretty? Because like they like only marginally improve Shadow of the Colossus. But like, Demon Souls is like cut paste exactly the same.
I think, well, I mean, they have a fan base that love what is already there, so they're not going to change it if they can make the same amount of money.
See, that's the thing, like, a lot of people are like, okay, what's their next remake? And, like, there's so many rumours. Rumours, because I think people just want it for it to be the Metal Gear Solid remake. But that's the thing. The two games that they made are pretty much silent games. Like they're not voice acting, they're not rewriting. Whereas Metal Gear Solid would need.
It's more just like
rewrite.
Konami still has all its hands in that.
Yeah.
Like,
But like people think that like, well, there are rumors picked up again this week that like Konami is going to start licensing out like IPs.
well, they did say recently they were looking at their portfolio of video games and looking to get back into the video game market space, which is just such a weird thing.
Yeah.
For them to do, considering they were so adamant on being like, no, we are ending video games, our business is pachinko.
Yeah. We'll see.
Konami's a weird company.
Very weird.
People get disappeared from that company. It's really weird.
I want Metal Gear remake. I want Metal Gear remake, which is what they were building. Well, Kojima was building towards probably. Like the way Metal Gear Solid 5, he's like, oh yeah, Metal Gear remake. That makes sense. Metal Gear. What have you been up to?
Oh fuck! It's my turn.
Yeah, I guess so.
Silence comes.
well-
to the next topic.
Since fucking COVID.
You're gonna start back in March.
Fuck. Well, I think the last time we had a podcast, I was still watching Naruto.
Yes, and you were playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes. So
I don't think anything's changed in 6 months.
I finished Naruto. That was awesome.
All of it? Like Shippuden as well?
Yep.
Fuck.
Naruto.
I don't want to touch Boruto because I kind of feel like I want there to be a lot of it out so I can just binge it like I did with Naruto, because it breaks my heart to see that I was so invested in something like Super and they were bringing it out episode by episode, week on week, and I was such a good little nerd, and I sat there and I waited, and I've waited for how many years?
God, at least 2 or 3 now.
What, it'd be more, what, like 4 maybe?
Yeah.
We're coming up.
So it was 2 years ago that the Broly movie came out.
Yeah. Oh, gee, was it really?
Yeah.
It came at the start of 2019.
Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Super ended March 2018.
I really like that Broly movie.
It's really good.
Well,
Now they got
it's
a proper sound system up and like.
It's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been thinking about rewatching it, but I just haven't had the time.
I've got it on Blu-ray now.
And I'm like, I really want to use it on my sound system because apparently, just, like the rolling, like the fight scenes just like go off. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, that Marvel
That was a
ride.
really good fight scene. But I don't know how, like, the rewatchability of that movie probably isn't that great.
Fine.
That final fight scene when it goes like psychedelic acid trip,
Yeah.
that thing's always going to be rewatchable. I don't care.
Because like for me, that movie is 2-part. It's the emotional setup, like exploring Broly and all that, and then it's fucking the fight scene for the rest of the movie. I'm like, I'm really okay with this
Dudes punching
structure.
things.
Yeah.
If you want to structure all your movies like this from now on, where it's character focused, battle for the next 45 minutes, you got me,
Yeah.
So I did all of that. I finished Kakarot. I think I said that last podcast.
I think so.
But Ghost of Tsushima broke my heart as well.
Oh yeah.
That was a fucking sad game.
It's rough.
You finished it on the PS5? Yeah.
No,
We finished it on PS4 one.
Oh, but
I was meaning to go back and play it on PS5. I haven't yet.
Did you ever finish it?
No,
Okay.
Oh,
I didn't finish
It's
it.
super
Man,
pretty. on
what
PS5.
have
They
you-
unlocked the frame rate
What did
up
you
to
get up
60.
to?
I got up to the second area and I did about half of that, and then
Okay.
it was like, and then things were starting to
I'm
happen.
not gonna lie. When you get halfway through that second area, I think that's probably the most boring part.
It is.
It was starting to drag a bit, which
Yeah.
is why I put it down. I was like, I'm going to put it down and then come back to it in a few months' time.
I had to push through it.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I put that thing down, I wouldn't pick it back up.
Yeah.
I probably won't, but I'm
But-
going to maybe try before Ratchet and Clank.
That game, if you can just push through that second area, it's so good.
Okay.
It is so good. The fighting style gets really good.
I mean, the
Everything about
combat
it.
at that game was always good. I really love playing
The legend stuff. So, like, you know how you had a couple of legend stuff in the first area, and then you had a little bit in the second area. There's more like mythical stuff happened in the second area, but in the third area, it's like legendary, like samurai techniques more so, and
Cool.
like explanations of that. It's really amazing, and the choices that you get to make towards the end and all that sort of stuff, it's really good. I would put it up there because I always said to Keena, my favorite games are God of War and Breath of the Wild, and he said, so you want more of the best games ever? And I said, yes, that's exactly what I want. And now Ghost of Tsushima has joined that. It is, in my opinion, way up there with Breath of the Wild, with God of War.
It's super inspired by Breath of the Wild.
It is so fucking good.
Like,
I'm pretty sure it was I'm pretty sure I read a thing saying that it was in development before Breath of the
it
Wild.
was, but then when it came out, they're like, oh, how can we incorporate as much as we can?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it wasn't built ground up for Breath of the Wild, and influence, but like they took as much as they could, and then clumped it on. But like, if they can, now that they have like one, learning how this game works, and then two, Breath of the Wild, of like. They can make, like, Sucker Punch is a really good developer. Like, they are.
They're excellent. Like, they've always been excellent.
Yeah. I
kind of want them, I think we talked about this last time, I kind of want them to just be, like, this, like, the utility player now for Sony, where, like, basically they pick a genre or type or place to set a story, and then they just they don't do sequels. Like, they're not like Santa Monica, where it's going to make another God of War. They're not like Guerrilla's, like, oh, we're going to do the Horizon series for a while. Or like Naughty Dog, where it's like, oh, they're doing Last of Us and Uncharted, and they've got all these series. I just want Sucker Punch to make one-off, really good games. And where Sony just goes, how about you try feudal Japan? Off you go, and they just make a game that's awesome.
Microsoft should sell Crackdown to Sony. Sucker Punch should make the next Crackdown game.
It's called Infamous. And Infamous 2.
Yeah,
and Infamous Second Son. They're really good games.
But that's, I just want Sucker Punch to just do that from now on. I just want them to go, why don't you set a game in ancient Maya? Go. And then they'd be like, alright, fucking what do we do? And then like 3 years later you would get like a great video game that looks awesome and plays well. They're just so good.
Because of Tsushima, that was awesome. I didn't even hear about it until you guys spoke about it. And everyone I've spoken to about it is like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that game at E3.
At E3, holy shit.
But it just, when it came out, it just sort of snuck out.
Well, it's because, was it a pandemic release?
It came out in the middle of other huge releases.
It was a month after Last of Us Part 2.
That's right, that's what it was.
And it was also delayed. Like, it was, like, everything was delayed.
There was no advertising for it either, really?
Not around here, no.
Again, because everything was taken over by Last of Us Part 2, and then there was like a 3-week gap where it was like, here's Ghost of Tsushima, that's coming out too, also, just so you remember. But like, again, pandemic releases were also just really weird. Like, really weird.
I went through and watched a shit ton of anime. I think I spoke about that last time on the podcast too. But games I've been playing, I played Animal Crossing. That consumed my life for months. What other games have I played since then? I played Ghost of Tsushima. I haven't really had much time for games, to be honest. But I played World of Warcraft a lot again. I actually max leveled the character for the first time in my entire life. With the new expansion, they brought the level cap back down to 60. Like,
yes, I heard that. They
so
went back and did another nerf.
It got all the way up to like 120.
Yeah.
And then they went, well, we can't just keep on raising the level cap, so they made everything a flat 60.
Interesting.
So when you hit level 50, you get a massive power boost, and that's when you can go into the next expansion. Yeah. And then everything else is like, every other area is sort of maxed out at like level 50.
And apparently this last expansion is really good. I think people have really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so in comparison to the previous expansions that have been absolute dog shit in the eyes of those, I mean, like, I didn't mind them. I didn't play when they came out, but I leveled in those expansions to get my character up to the level to go into this new one.
Right.
And
my understanding is that it's definitely been like one good one, one bad one. Like, it's been like rotating off and on.
Everyone loved Burning Crusade, everyone loved Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
Cataclysm, people didn't really like, but they loved the fact that goblins and worgens came into it.
Yeah.
Mists of Pandaria, people liked, as far as I can remember.
Yeah, I remember that one being
Warlords of Draenor, people didn't like that
one.
And then there was Legion,
which I think...
And people loved that, and then Battle for Azeroth, which people didn't like, and now there's Shadowlands, which people love.
Yeah.
Because
see what I mean? Like, it's been... Basically, since Mists of Pandaria, it's been one good, one bad, one good, one bad.
The Final Fantasy 14 expansion, isn't that also?
Shadowbringer.
Yeah.
So Shadowlands people love it because it's calling back to a lot of the old lore.
Yeah.
So, like, you meet the person who created the crown for the Lich King.
Oh, cool.
All that sort of stuff.
That's cool stuff.
Like, there's a heap of in-depth lore, and fuck, it's hard. I got to level 60, and all it is now is grinding for good gear to be able to play the game as good as everybody else is, like, at that rate. Yeah. It's fucking hard. So there's that. I sunk a lot of time into that, and then I've taken a massive break because I'm tired from doing expansion stuff. I then went on to play a little bit of Cyberpunk. It didn't hook me. It didn't hook me at all.
I have that game bored, but like I haven't even. I've
I
installed
forgot about that game. You reminded me. Fuck me,
Yeah.
man. Jesus Christ.
Well, let's not talk about that yet.
Wow.
And
I had a list of things in my head I was going to talk about, and I'd forgotten about Cyberpunk, and now that's been inserted in my brain, and now I'm sad.
But I also have done misjustice to this show, and I went on and kept playing Life is Strange 2 without filming it.
How is it?
Good. I had to
Dean,
purchase
how does
it.
that make you feel?
Well, Dean watched me play it.
I was gonna say I'm not too fussed.
Dean got a private Let's Play.
Dean got private Let's Plays. It's fucked up.
Sign up to our Patreon for private Let's Plays.
I think that's our OnlyFans.
Jesus.
Anyway, that came out during the fucking COVID.
Oh, fuck.
No, it was, it's been really good. I mean, like, it's a Life is Strange game, so I don't know what I expected. It's really fucked up.
Yeah.
It's really fucked
Yep.
up. And I kept on saying to Dean, I'm like, I don't know why I play these games, because it always gives you the illusion of choice, but no matter what you decide, the thing's going to happen anyway, and you are still going to have to deal with that situation.
These games are emotional blackmail.
Yeah, so it's like you can say you can take the moral high ground, but this bad thing's still going to happen, and you're still going to have to deal with this shitty situation that you don't want to have to deal with. But if you were able to tiptoe around everything, the game wouldn't really be interesting. So, yeah, I'm up to the second last episode at the moment.
Cool.
But I haven't touched it again since. We watched the Demon Slayer movie, which is the highest grossing movie that Japan has ever released, apparently. I have been told by sources.
I think those headlines were interpreted wrong. What's it called? Demon Slayer.
Slayer, yeah.
You keep talking all.
Yeah, so basically...
Mugen Train, I think.
Yeah, Mugen Train, yeah.
Mugen Train?
Yeah, Mugen Train. So that movie is canon, which is something I didn't expect,
Okay, that's
because I
cool.
didn't read into it at all.
Anime
And
movies
when-
are almost always
Yeah.
not canon. It's
So
really frustrating.
when it started, I was like, because I'd watched the Demon Slayer series, and when it started, I turned to Dean in this theater, and I just went, "Is it picking up from where it left off?"
Well, to be fair, when it finishes, what?
So, it's made a fuck ton of money. If I remember correctly, Broly made about 200 million?
Yeah.
Which was good for anime movies. Anime movies don't do that. It has made $400 million worldwide.
Jesus.
And it's only been out for a while.
Like a week.
Not even that. It came out on Thursday.
Apparently it came out properly in Japan in October.
And that always
Which is
happens.
when it was meant to, because when the first season ends, because they do a bunch of training right towards the end, and then they go out to basically board this train to go to their next mission, and that's where it kind of trails off, and then it's like Demon Slayer will return in the Mugen Train movie in October.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So that's the thing. When it was released, we're like, let's go fucking
Yeah.
watch it.
So the award it holds is highest grossing film in Japan of all time.
Yep.
Highest grossing anime film and Japanese film of all time. Highest grossing animated film of 2020. Fourth highest grossing film of 2020. Seventh highest grossing traditional animated film. 16 highest grosses non-English film. highest rated R-rated animated movie.
Was it R-rated?
Yeah.
Huh.
R-rated America.
America.
Ah, okay. I was gonna say.
It takes a lot to get R here.
Yeah.
It might even be M. Because
Yeah.
like some stuff.
I think it was MA. I think, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's really hard to get an R rating here unless you're a fucking video game, apparently.
That video game has a penis in it.
Yeah, banned.
No. That mountain looks like a huge cock. Not allowed.
Banned.
We need to save koalas.
Wait, no,
We
this
don't
has
even do that.
This game has a penis in it. No, that's fine. This game has dildos all over the entire screen. No, that's fine. In this game, you beat someone with a dildo. That's banned.
Yeah. Well,
That's the Australian government logic.
Saints Row the Third allowed the dildo. It was Saints Row 4 when they brought out the probe gun.
Yeah. Anything to do with probing gets fucking destroyed here.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cutscene in South Park Stick of
Yep.
Truth. Yeah, they got cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
what was
whole,
it?
all
Fetus-
of those games, I
fetus
just love
removal?
just cuts it out and it's like, sorry, this is anal probing. I'm like, wow, South Park, you go down that route a lot.
Well, that was the thing, because South Park did it, and they were like, they said something about like due to your government being a bunch of pussies or something.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
like, here's a cutesy koala, but it's still playing the sounds in the background, and it's just
Yeah.
Randy like, oh god,
Yeah.
like it's terrible.
Well,
Like he ends up with like a fucking prolapsed abortion anus.
But yeah, no, we watched that. I don't think I've really been playing anything else other than that.
Yeah.
I did start playing the Avengers, Marvel's The Avengers.
I also started that.
Yeah, it's
What, did it come free or something? What happened? Why'd you just buy it?
Cheap. I got it at launch and then it crashed like halfway through because the frame rate went to 2. And then I was like, I'll just wait for the PS5 upgrade.
Fair.
I'm still waiting.
It's a bad game.
I was enjoying the campaign.
It's a fine game, but they slapped a live service model on it that you can tell was never intended to be a part of it.
From Crystal Dynamics, a live service game? Of course. Yeah. Thanks, Square, once again.
yeah.
Next, we'll get a Avengers Battle Royale.
I don't know.
Fortnite.
We got Final
You're
Fantasy
right.
VII Battle Royale.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later, but yeah. We'll let the blokes
I think that's done. Dean?
Oh, fuck. Well, I actually haven't been on the podcast since COVID.
Jesus, we've got a whole year to get through.
Yeah. Look
All
out.
right.
I'm out
Dean's
to
like, I
watch.
bought AirPods and I watched TV.
Yeah.
I watch Endgame in the back of cars now, so...
Yeah, do what I want, mate. It's good as. Fucking go Disney Plus. Yeah, no, I haven't really done too much. I'll just go through the recent shit. We all play D&D now.
Yes, I really wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. We play a D&D game once a month.
Yeah, so that's really fun. We call it Amalgam D&D. So, you know, who knows? Maybe we could do like debrief episodes or something of like.
I don't mind the idea of
what we
debrief
do.
episode, because the idea of recording them is a bit...
Recording it'd be a bit clunky, but a debrief episode.
If we keep
I'd
that
really
OneNote
keep
up to date, we could probably do a voiceover theatrical.
Theatrical release.
We could do that.
I don't know how much of an idea, like, talking about a campaign, how entertaining that is.
I mean, look, it depends on how entertaining the campaign will be. I mean, we talk about video games and pop culture stuff we care about. It's D&D, not pop culture.
Do we not care about it?
Fits the fucking tagline.
Yep. I think it'd be a really good idea.
I think it could be good. Let us know in the
Comments below.
Millie comments.
Yeah, if you want to hear about
The
it.
Millie comment. Dean's just like, Millie!
Millies
If you
everywhere.
want to talk about our D&D campaign. Yeah.
We made no money from that video, but that's okay.
Hey, if we had 1,000 subscribers, we would have made quite a bit.
Is that the fucking
Yeah,
subscribe,
that's the
you
benchmark.
dickholes?
If you have to, you get 1,000 subscribers, and we would have been able to do a lot of stuff if we. Nina looked at. I'll explain it afterwards. When we're
Interesting.
not on there.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah.
Or get 2 friends to subscribe.
Exactly, the friendly Geordie's approach. Let's do it.
But
Do you want to say what we're playing in our D&D campaign?
what we're playing.
Like, yeah.
Oh, well, I was gonna say like what class we play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we play with two other PCs and obviously the DM as well. So we have Shannon's partner and Nathaniel's sister Vanessa, or Ness.
Yes, my wife.
The waifu. And then we also have Nathaniel's fiance Nina, who handles our socials. Pre-waifu. That's a terrible term.
She has yet to digivolve into it.
But she can always go back. Right?
Dude, G5
That's why I said digivolve, because you can always go back to being not a waifu anymore. 21st century, friend. It's not a binding contract anymore.
But so we have some very, very interesting characters. As most D&D campaigns go, obviously everyone's a little bit angsty to an extent. We have a southerner dragonborn warlock played by our Shannon. We have a failed attempt at a British elf sorcerer with draconic bloodline, but that's all fun. That's me, by the way.
I wouldn't say fan. You just Chris Hemsworth voice. The only voice you know how to do.
No.
he tried a French one. I'll give him that in his other campaign.
Yeah, and it's going terribly.
It's pretty shit.
It's fucking. But it started out French, and then it just turned into like a broken English
like
European. Austrian, yeah.
Almost Austrian now.
I didn't practice it.
Don't know how you got the
It just went on this he started. Well, I was listening to him talk, and he started the conversation in French, and then it was just like, oh yeah.
S'il vous plaît, you start out and you pull up chopper. How does he get there?
It's look, I've not seen French people before.
But what is that? Do they exist?
No.
What is this French you speak of?
Baguette. No, but
you just got to do what Ava does and make sure it go French at the end of every Scottish.
That's the thing. This is a different campaign, obviously, but it's a wizard that I'm playing. His name is Alistair Lavender. So he's very French, but very, very fine. It's like, yeah. Anyway, so we've got the Draconic Sorcerer. I throw magic at people. It's good fun. I don't get hit sometimes, which is cool. We've got a Cockney. Is it Cockney?
Cockney.
I don't know. It's rather stupid, isn't it?
It is rather stupid.
We have a fighter who is a genasi of air, which is fun. And then we have our Scottish broad, who is a paladin. And Keena's name, or her name, is Arma. It's good fun.
Every
One of
time
my favourite characters at the table.
I just imagine Brave with Keena's face.
That's basically all I
And
can
then-
The wolf, yeah. For sure.
We've also got Vanessa as the Tabaxi cleric. I don't know what domain, but that's okay.
We'll find out.
I think it's the life, maybe. I don't know. No. And then we've got the Circle of the Moon druid, who is a high elf?
High elf, yeah.
Which is neat.
Stuff that we know, but our characters do not yet.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
We
figured out
know
the
that she's a high elf. We know that she's a high elf, or at least my character.
Yeah, she tried to tell Kelly that no one knew she was an elf yet. Because she does have, apparently she has an item in her inventory which is a hood that stays up magically. It never comes down.
Yeah.
How'd she get that?
I don't know. I think it's part of her backstory or something like that. But that's all its effect is. Is it never like when she puts the hood up, it never comes down until she takes it off. And she tried to say she'd never taken it off, but like the very first session that we played in before Vanessa came in, we sat at the bar and she took her headset off.
She was
That's why we know she has blonde streaks. I was like, yes, we know you're an elf.
Yeah.
We can see the ears.
Yeah. Yep.
That was rather stupid.
But
No, I love playing with Nina and Ness. They do add a nice dynamic.
no,
to the table.
it's very good.
A lot of fun.
Their in-game friendship and their out-of-game
adorable.
friendship is portrayed within their in-game
2
friendship.
to 3 hours.
It did take quite some time out, but obviously, Dungeons and Dragons, as fun as it is to throw magic at everything and hit things with large swords, there's also a role play aspect, and it plays really well.
Yeah, they're really good at doing that role
They're
play.
very
They
good.
fell off a boat. It was great.
Yeah, it was fucking excellent. But yeah, no, it's a very nice homebrew campaign done by our lovely DM Kelly. He's doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
And we're doing that one once a month. So
Yeah, it's been a really good debrief. It's also been a gateway into realizing that apparently my entire workplace plays D&D. Because I just mentioned it to one person, and then the guy that sits next to him was like, "Oh, I play D&D," and the guy that sits next to him is like, "Oh, I play D&D," and then I got a message on my internal messaging system being like, "Bing," and someone giving me advice on like how to play my warlock, and I was like, "What is happening?" He's like 4 booths that way.
Secret society found.
It's like apparently everyone plays D&D in this office. Okay.
Yeah,
Everyone's just always playing D&D in the chat, not actually working.
Well, that's the issue with D&D is what I found, that a lot of people are either A, really interested in it, or B, already play it. You just need to mention it, because no one's going to talk about it openly, because it's got that stigma of that's a nerd's thing. And
I
you're
think
a
that
loser.
stigma is starting to lift.
Oh, it's absolutely
It has
lifting.
been lifting for
It went from this is demonic sorcery and goes against my Christian beliefs to yeah, all right, we can mass produce mini figures for that tabletop game.
The reason I don't mention it outside of my friends is because I don't want them like, oh, we should start a D&D group.
Yeah.
I'm already maxed
look,
out.
It's come the other way now.
Yeah.
When you're like, I don't want people to know.
I mentioned it last night, and who was it? It was Reese and somebody else. I think it was...
Shouldn't have been
It
Reese.
shouldn't have been
No,
raised.
I know.
What a fucking nut of me.
But somebody else was like, oh yeah, let's do a campaign. And then and
Oh,
he never
right.
shows up.
He doesn't show up.
once.
He showed up once. He charmed my character, and then my character beat him severely. But he charmed him for quite a while. Just danced around me too. I was like, "Show me what you got." He was like, "All right, you're my friend now," and I was like, "Okay." That was it.
But the Skyrim battle music was still playing.
Yeah. So I knew something was around. but
I think it was Sam. I think I was talking to Sam about it. And
Potentially.
he was like, we should play Dungeons and Dragons. And Reese is like, yeah, we should. And I was like, hang on a second.
Wait a minute.
But also,
Metal
I
Gear
couldn't do
noise.
another campaign. I could only focus on this one.
Well,
that's
that's-
all I've got the time for.
Yeah, it's very easy to go down the rabbit hole. Yes, I will make another character, and then you've got another character, but you've also got another D&D session to go to this month. So it's very interesting.
And I think we've struck the right balance of time on this
Yeah.
one, like giving ourselves a month between each session.
Well, that's really good that I like about ours, where we choose the day before we leave. Because a lot of my other campaigns that I've had in the past, not ours, because ours does the same thing, but other campaigns that I've done, it's just the DM will reach out every once in a while and be like, okay guys, I
When's
want
next
to play
session?
in the next week. When
Yeah.
is everyone free? And it's like, well, no, that doesn't really work because...
we have lives.
Yeah, like-
and that was it took us a while to get started because we've been talking about doing this for months, years even. And that was the thing. I was like, okay, we need to nail down our first session. Once we nailed down that date, it was easy for everyone to be like, okay, cool. Well, everyone pull out the calendars at the end of every session. When are you free? When are you not? If it means it's got to be a bit longer. And obviously, it's still tough to play in a COVID world because our session in January got pushed back a few extra weeks because, reasons. But it's really, really fun to have that kind of thing, and I feel like that month gap is good because it gives us enough time to A, debrief from the previous session, B, think about what you're going to do next session, and then C, kind of pine for it a little bit. Like when it gets to the week before, I'm like, oh my god, it's so close, I really want to play, what do I want to play, what do I want to play? And then it happens and it's great. And instead of a previous campaign that I played before where it was once a week, you sometimes feel like it's an obligation. You're like, oh god, I have to go to D&D, like I really don't want to.
Weekly is too much. I play in Dana's campaign as well, and hers is every fortnight, and it's on a Friday, so everyone's like a little bit tired, but like we still go and we still have a lot of fun. But fortnights.
I think it's just on the cusp.
Sometimes I'm in the mood, sometimes I'm not. But by the time I get there, I'm just like, yeah, I'm shooting arrows.
It's just like watching, because we got into D&D, we've gotten into Critical Role at my place. Watching that, and I'm like, well, yeah, of course I'd be up for it if I was getting paid for it every week.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
Absolutely do that.
They've also got like major resources at their disposal. Like we've got a fucking squared piece of cardboard that we can write whiteboard markers on. Meanwhile, they've got like fog machines.
Kelly,
on
you
there.
do great.
Oh, you
do
do
great
excellent.
work.
It's excellent
With it. It's so much fun.
With what we have access to, the monthly planning and everything works out really well. But if our job was to play D&D, which most D&D nerds are like, I'd love that job. Personally, I think it'd be overbearing. But who knows? The point is...
It's like anything. If you do it too much, you may eventually not like it.
Well, the thing is, like, they get off on the fact that they've got these mad resources that, like, obviously they're really good at acting and they've got the voice acting behind them as well.
And they've also got, like, supplementary incomes from that. Like,
Yeah.
they all still do voice acting in general, so they don't need
If
to
anything,
worry.
it's a promotion of their ability.
Yeah.
So it's exposure that they're being paid for, which is excellent. But they've also got these major resources. The biggest times that they get excited is when the fog machine comes out. It's crazy. Or
That's
when
true.
when Matt Mercer will say, "Oh, there's you see like a horse go by in a cart," and then like his background music just happens to have a cart noise as it goes past.
yeah.
And like, how did you do that? But then the roleplay comes through, and obviously they're really good at it. But you know, I don't think I'd be able to do it for a week on.
A week. Even
Yes.
like the McElroys, they do the Adventure Zone, and theirs is every fortnight.
Yeah.
Because Griffin could not, like, with him doing everything else, he could not.
Yeah,
Like-
I think there's certain of those online D&D campaigns where they are specifically, this is what they do. They do it every week, and they enjoy that aspect of it because they basically look at it like there's Arcane Arcade. They do campaigns once every now and then, but they look at it like, well, they were going to play D&D every week anyway. They just set up a camera and film it and throw it up. And so there's a few different ones that are like that, but...
Well, the other part is the creative aspect.
Yeah.
A lot of people really like the idea, but you have to be comfortable in the group that you're in to be able to do something creative.
Absolutely.
If you don't feel comfortable, then you're just going to be playing yourself with a mask. That's all it is. You can't be a different character if you're not comfortable changing who you are with the people you're with.
Which is why I like the group that we play with.
It's a very good
It's
dynamic.
very, very, very good. Very fun. That we're like very fun to play within the characters, and that's why I actually really enjoyed the first half of last session of just like seeing a bit more character interaction. And I'm kind of hoping that we get more of that. Like obviously, it's nice to sometimes have a combat heavy session. But I feel like we had a lot of combat heavy sessions.
Yeah.
And this was the first one where we only had really one fight, and that was it.
It was a big fight.
A big one. I got decked so bad.
Hey, you didn't go down though.
I didn't, but Jesus Christ.
You didn't hear no bell.
Exactly. We also have a spicy meme stash from it, which has been great.
Every single time. Oh, it's so good. That car ride home, and it's just like, ooh,
Yeah.
meme.
Ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. Yeah, we create memes of our own. And this is the frustrating thing is those memes are only funny to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one else would.
Like, I share them
find
to Dana, but I have to, like, contextualize them. And, like, she knows, like, enough classes. Like, she knows
Yeah.
what classes do. So, like a Eldritch Blast meme is
Yeah.
always funny because everyone knows
Yeah.
how that works. But,
Yeah.
I can't hit the enemy from here. Are you sure? You've got a lot to do with your character backstory before next session.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to do
You
that.
need to.
I saw your face, man. You were deer in the headlights. He was like,
It's like, do I know that person? No, I don't.
I know exactly where he's going, I think, but I just don't know how this character is going.
which is the best thing about it.
It'll
It's gonna
be.
so
I honestly, I'm glad he started with you guys with this background stuff because, like, I feel like I know my backstory, but every time I read it, I'm like, oh, that's a thing. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
He's been speaking to me about, like, not specifics, obviously, because I'm a player, so he doesn't want me to know things, but he's been giving me an idea of, like, sort of the general, like, how he plans things.
Yeah.
And so he's taken all of our backstories and kind of gone, and sort of plugged them into, like, basically looked at the backstory and gone, at what level would the conclusion of this backstory fit the best?
Right.
And has kind of tried to plug them in such a way
Oh, shit.
to create sort of an interweaving story that naturally progresses through our levels.
Yeah. Interesting. They're
Yeah.
just focusing just around the levels part.
Well, that's the
that
thing.
means-
You don't want to take on an army at level 3.
Well, Yeah, like
We
that's.
did. We also had a level 12 scepter.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, he's also using milestone leveling, so it kind of like coincides and it works that way. And then like he's a really good DM. Like one of those DMs that has the knowledge of the spells off the top of his head because he's crazy.
Oh, your spells are easy.
Yeah.
I hit.
He casts hit shit
No.
3 times.
He levitates himself sometimes.
No. He's gonna action surge and cast hit shit again.
I think levitate is good purely for the fact that if I get knocked off of things, I can get back up on things. And I've had to do that, I think, a couple of times now.
Well, that was the thing. You got knocked off one thing, you rose back up to the thing, and then you got knocked back down again.
I still keep on meaning to make a meme about that. I know what I want the meme to be, I just don't have the time to make it.
It's a lot of fun.
You're gonna love level 5.
Yeah, man.
Hit shit again.
Yeah, again.
I hit an action, so...
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Playing as an overpowered dual-wielding fighter is really good.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that. The stat rolling, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No negatives.
It's just funny that the person who is just melee and a fighter got the best stats.
It's fucking bullshit.
No fucking...
It's alright, I'm happy with
Magic
my
abilities.
stats. My spellcasting ability is at 18, so that's okay.
Yeah, see, I'm slightly frustrated with my stats.
Why?
Because my spellcast ability is 17.
That's my strength. And I'm just like,
I need I just wanted an 18 in one stat.
Yeah.
If I had that from the beginning, that would have been really
Well, I had
nice.
to dump my strength.
Well, of course you did. You're a fucking sorcerer.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I did for my ranger. Like my ranger has like -1 to strength and charisma. Because I'm like, oh,
See, I had to make a choice because I did have a stat that was a 9. Yeah, I had a stat that was going to be a 9.
Okay.
I didn't know where to put it. I didn't want to put it in intelligence because I don't want to be a dumb character.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to put it in wisdom because there are so many wisdom saving throws in the game.
That
So
was
I
my
wanted to
thing.
make sure.
That like I didn't want to be a dumb paladin like a himbo type energy.
Yeah.
And like, but the rolls end up just being that.
Yeah.
'Cause, like our session 0 ended up being like there's like thief run through the door. I'm like, I'm just gonna charge at the door, shield up, rolled an athletics on a nat 1. Bonk!
Just bounces off the door.
Like,
And I'm looking at her like, what are you doing?
And you wasn't on what?
No. As Kelly said, you look up and you see the pull sign.
Classic.
My warlock's just like. It was pretty funny.
Because I
But
thought
yeah,
good athletics all before that, and I'm just like, one more go. Oh fuck!
but I ended up throwing the 9 in my strength stat because as a dragonborn I get a +2 to strength. So what it ended up being is I don't have any negatives, but everything's pretty average.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating part. It's like I've got just like average stats across the board. I need a good stat.
Yeah.
I have an idea on how I'm going to get there, but
You're gonna have to do ability score improvements.
no, I don't have to. I can do it through feats, but I need to
It
pick
did
the
take
right
longer,
ones.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can do it through feats, and also it's dependent. Like our DM has been very generous with our
Equipment.
Yeah, with our magical items and stuff like that. So like,
Oh, that wand. Holy fuck.
yeah, man,
Holy shit.
yeah.
9th level magic missile. To be fair, I can only bring back a d6 + 1 charges, and it holds 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See, but you just don't use it for a day or two.
Well, that's the thing. I'd only use it in dire situations. I'm not going to be like, there's a wolf in front of us! Level 9!
I mean, you don't have to spend 9 charges, do you? You can
Well,
just be
exactly,
Like, if you're out of
yeah.
spell slots, you can just be like, well, I'm just going to cast
It's
magic.
a good boss weapon.
Well, that was the
Yeah.
thing, because like by the end of the boss fight, I've still got I think like 2 or 3 level 1 spell slots left and a level 2 spell slot left, and I've got 2 sorcery points. So like, even though we did so much fucking damage to it, since I used that fucking wand for one of the turns, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
If we get into shit in this next part where we're going to meet the mayor,
I'm fucked, by the way. If something goes wrong,
I
I'm
managed to get healed 2 or 3 times after the fight, so I should be okay.
I've got a potion.
But I've used my action surge, so
Fuck.
I have a spell slot left.
But that's the only thing that I have to wait for. That and levitate. Those are the only two things that I have that I have to use. I can only use once a day. Action surge.
But don't you get extras of those? Like
Yeah, I get extra action surge.
Yeah. as you level up, you get more
So
of those.
at one point in time, I think it's like by level 17, I can attack like 5 or 6 times in one go.
I'm scared for the time where Kelly's gonna do a side quest and we're just gonna have to do a battle royale. It's gonna scare the fuck out of me because I know I'm not gonna stand up against most of you. I'm great to do damage.
Nina's gonna kill us all.
Nina's gonna kill us.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I see us two going up against Nina. I don't see it going well.
Nope.
But
no.
I see like the. All right, we'll deal with this shit first, and then we'll see what
I
happens.
have
Yes.
a feeling that me and you would fight.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll win.
I would love to see you two in like an anime style, like
That
on
would be
either
cool,
side of
just
the battlefield.
You got one dude with a fucking hammer and a shield, and
Yeah.
the other dude's got fucking katanas.
I'll have katanas soon.
Yeah.
If we have to fight, I want the blacksmith to run into the room and be like, catch. That would be awesome.
That would
I
not
don't
make any sense. It's like there's a fight up in the mayor's house. I was making swords for him. I'll be back. Like this dude that he's never met
Yeah,
before.
exactly. That would be
I
beautiful.
don't think 'cause your swords are being like where we are right now. Your swords will be done the next day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So I
right.
don't think we're gonna do anything. I think we'll
Yeah.
look. Honestly, as soon as he said mayor, I was like, "Fuck, mayors always ask for something."
It's just gonna be it's gonna be politics. You and I will probably have to head the fucking talking, being charisma.
I was
based.
really happy with my charisma rolls last session.
Oh fucking! I don't know what was happening with you. Holy shit, my rolls were terrible. I was like,
yeah.
do you wanna give us a better price? Nat one. You wanna give me that price you mentioned before? Please don't raise it. Please, sir.
I got a bag of holding for 150 gold. I
Yeah,
was pretty
that was
happy with
fucking excellent.
I forgot to haggle at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
When
mean,
you're playing a charisma-based
Yeah,
character,
it's-
that's the first thing
Like,
on your
even as a
mind.
paladin, I'm just like, I have the charisma, but
Yeah,
one,
but-
Keena doesn't, and two, I just always forget to haggle.
you've got to keep in mind that like we're good at one thing, and that's talking. So in a fight, we don't do any talking. So when we get to talk, we want to do it well.
Yeah. Like I said, with charisma-based characters, the thing in the front of my mind is always haggle.
How can I change this person's mind?
Yeah, how can I talk my way out of this? Which is why I was really frustrated and walked away when we met Quinn. So there's no way of talking your way out of that because that dude's a dick. So
Quinn. Oh yeah, Quinn was a fuckwit.
yeah,
For context, Quinn is a magical beast.
lavender tiefling. That's a real
He's a fuckwit.
real dick bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's been great. It's been a really fun experience.
But yeah, we could
I'm
do
so
some
happy.
debriefs. I'd be keen for that.
Yeah.
Whether we record it or not.
We could-
I reckon we should.
Yeah, we could do like 30-minute, 40-minute videos where we go through each session that we've done, just to catch everyone up, and then we can do a debrief after everyone.
I'd be keen.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than D&D, Final Fantasy 14. I've been
Shit.
playing that.
Really?
Yeah, I had a friend at work that was like, hey, I play Final Fantasy 14 and I have no one in my party. Do you want to join? And I was like, sure. He's like, there's an expansion coming out too. And I was like, okay. And so...
It's apparently a really good one.
Yeah, well, I'm currently level 21.
Do you have to pay for that?
Yeah, it's $10. Oh, well, it's $10 European, so it's like fucking 12, 13
I'm playing
for us.
PC.
Yeah.
But it's cross-platform, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So I can plug a keyboard and mouse into my PS5 and just go.
Yeah. Or you can use a controller, but
You
yeah.
can.
But
A lot of people
yeah.
like the controller for like moving, but then like actual combat, it's just
I will
have, like,
play
everything
with
on
you.
key.
Yeah.
It's an,
Yeah,
it's an
I want more of that.
Because I'm currently playing a Thaumaturge, which is basically just a mage, and I'm trying to get to.
Well, really?
Well,
Wizard, sorcerer, man.
It's-
It's like a,
it's
Does he have a British accent?
or a European accent of some description.
hey, I'm playing a warlock
Is he
in our other
charismatic?
campaign, right? and fuck you.
Is he charismatic?
Another
He's-
spellcaster.
Shut up! I can't just hit things, okay? It's boring. My first character was a cleric.
That's a really. Oh, okay.
It was
It's another
fun.
spellcaster.
I know. I realize that.
Dickhead.
Yeah, I usually go for like magical stuff or like semi-magical stuff, and that's why when I was like, oh, fighter, I'm gonna go fighter. Like, I never do that shit, so I had to do it.
That's why I picked the warlock too.
Because
I'm always I'm just gonna run in and beat it.
Yeah.
Well, I just like
Everyone
the
said-
idea of being powerful when I'm level 20.
Everyone said to me that when you play D&D, you want to try to go for something that you're not usually gonna go for.
Yeah.
So
Double check Final Fantasy Endwalker's. Like, I just want to see what content in it. The Japanese title is called Dawn Moon Finale.
Dawn Moon Finale.
That's cool.
What's that for?
That's Endwalker. That's 14th newest expansion that's coming out in that June.
Okay.
Just to see what it's adding, because I saw the trailer, it was like the dude on the moon, and it does like this crazy like spin transition, and it's like, ooh, moon.
So, with that,
Because I think they're revamping it in April.
yeah.
They've revamped the first part to like just condense it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you going through all of it, or are you playing the condensed version?
Well,
of the max?
I'm doing the main story, whatever that is. I've got no idea whether it's condensed or otherwise.
Okay.
I'm currently level 21, and I've been playing it since Thursday.
Oh Jesus! Okay.
No, Wednesday.
Okay, it's the Final Fantasy game I've been meaning to play for the longest time.
Same, because like people keep saying it's like probably the best one. Like,
Yeah.
fuck,
Well, that's the
there's
thing,
So
like,
much content. I'm
'cause-
terrified of it.
Well, it's an old game as well, but
Yeah.
like the graphics are excellent. I have no issues with it.
Squeenix, man, they know how to do pretty games.
Yeah.
That hold up.
And like the character creation's really fun as well. I'm one of the little fairy bitches.
I think I've downloaded it like 3 or 4 times and never hit play.
It's a
My main characters.
See, now that I know he's playing, I'm like, well, maybe I should just download it and play it.
Let's do it after this. I'm gonna do it after this.
Sure.
You gonna play?
I'm gonna play.
I gotta go buy it then. Fuck.
It's free to play up until level 30, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got the
Don't
expansion
get-
because the friend that I'm playing with wanted to trade with me, and you can't trade on the free.
Trade.
Yeah, trade.
But can you play
Trade
together?
items.
Oh, you can trade items.
Yeah, like
Oh, cool.
it's an MMO, so
Oh.
yeah, you can trade.
Not Pokemon, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, he was trying to give me money, but since he's playing on PS4, it took him like fucking 6 minutes to get up to 1,000 gil, and I was like, I'm just gonna do missions, man. I don't want help.
That's why they're porting it to PS5 and it's gonna like just run better. Like downloading supposed to be quicker. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I mean, I need a game that I can play on my PC.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking for a game that people actually fucking play. So if you're playing it and you've got a friend that's playing it, I'm down to
Yeah.
try that. Because I tried to do that with WoW and people just aren't fucking interested.
We need support, DPS, and a tank.
I have a.
Do you want to be tank or DPS? Because I will be either or.
Wait, do we need a DPS? I think we need a
Because
DPS.
I've got a white mage build.
Well, I've got a red mage that I'm trying to make it a red mage.
I'll do tank.
Because I think red mage is damage and
So
support.
what are you playing and what's your friend playing? You're playing.
Thaumaturge, and he's playing a black mage, but he can be a blue mage.
Okay. So you do need DPS then.
I think so.
I'm gonna roll into a druid.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's usually 3 DPS.
I don't know how
support
big
and
a
tank.
party can be. I
Usually
played
5.
because the duties. The instances they call them duties. So duty party
That's the
limit.
thing, like, because it's an MMO. It's
Wait,
UI
Nutbush
is
City
so
limit?
flooded that I'm just like, what do I do?
Which is why I wanted to see what they've done in terms of the onboarding, because I know they actually they made some changes to the onboarding to make it better.
8 players. Okay, yeah, so we're fine.
Sweet. Yeah, I know they made changes to the onboarding process so that people could figure out what the fuck they're doing, because also there's been so many expansions now. They wanted to try and condense that all down so you weren't playing for like 150 hours.
Well, it's got a really interesting mechanic where basically like older players can choose to like help new players. I didn't look into it too much, but basically when you start off, you have like a symbol next to your name and it's like a sproutling. But then like more experienced players will have like a fully bloomed flower next to their name.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of like if you want help, you can talk to them, and they can also invite you to a chat where you can ask questions where other experienced players are.
And I'm assuming, is the community good?
Well, I haven't spoken to many
Okay.
people in the community, but I mean, like the game itself, I find it pretty easy. Like it's very hard to die in the wilderness. Obviously, if you fuck around, you'll die.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to play your class, even more so. But no, from what I've seen, community is pretty standard.
Okay.
Not as toxic as Call of Duty, but You know?
But what is? Like, let's
Exactly,
be fair
exactly.
here.
So no, if you guys are into it, fucking A. And yeah, cross-platform. Like you can play it on your PlayStation, PC. I don't know if it's on Xbox.
It's
I
not on
doubt it.
Xbox.
There you go. But yeah, it's good fun. I play on the Louis Soir server.
Louis Soir.
Louis Soir.
Can you change those?
You can't change your data
I'll
center.
just make a new character.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Let's
Alright,
do it.
we'll
good
look
fun.
into it afterwards.
We'll do that.
Look at this, Dean. D&D, Final Fantasy 14. You're bringing the group together.
We're doing it. Well, D&D was Nate, actually. He got the...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I was like, I
Starter
bought a
pack.
starter kit, and I'm like, everybody, I bought a starter kit, and everyone's like, yep, fuck that off. And I'm like, I have dice.
It's like the basic red dice, and then we're all like lined up with metal dice that are like, or just like fucking resin dice that are all gradient, and you're just like
Red dice.
red and white ink for the numbers.
I think it reflects my character.
I think it did. It's pretty basic, like, I want to hit it.
That's
Yeah.
Hey, you've got 2d20s for when you hit twice. So
Yeah, like I haven't needed any more dice except for when we've done very specific things.
Yeah.
You will probably get to a point where you'll need more sets.
Oh, yeah.
It's same with Nina. Like, she's only got like a couple. I'm like, you're gonna need more sets because a druid at higher levels, like, oh, roll 12d6 for me.
That's okay. I've got a friend and a brother-in-law that have a shit ton
I
of
have
dice.
so many fucking
I've got
dice.
so much.
I'm a
Like
dice fiend.
now that I've bought that wand, I'm just gonna get a little sack of d4s
Just for that.
just for when I cast it. I'm like, all right, guys.
That's the thing, like, I was always, like, of the mind, like, I don't need more dice, like, I'm good, I'll just roll the one. And then I finally started playing characters that weren't level 5 anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's the further as I got. I started playing, like, level 6 characters. I'm like, I need more dice. I just need more dice. And being a DM,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
constitution checks for everyone.
Yeah.
Have you seen the battle royales that Critical Role did in their
Yes.
first campaign?
Yes.
There's one that had Talison's character Percy in it, and basically he's got this cape where he just fires, like, he can do additional damage, I think. or
Kobold's
something like
Ruin.
that.
So
Kobold's
when he,
Ruin, yeah.
when he gets hit with magic, it absorbs and increases the counter.
Yeah.
And he can then use that element as extra damage, like
That's
off-
Black Panther suit.
kind of, yeah.
Similar. So
Basically.
he can do like he can put in so many extra d6, and it's up to his like discretion. But when they're doing the battle royale, he's got the full cape. He's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna empty it, and he brings out like fucking 20 d6 and just like throws it down.
Yeah.
And he can like, I think he can re-roll some or whatever the fuck happened.
Magic or something.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep up. I was still shocked by how many d6 he
Yes,
had.
it was gross.
And it's like, all right, I do fucking 84 points of damage. I'm like, holy fuck!
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Oh, high level player cannot
I
wait.
think if we had a battle royale, I don't think I'd win. But if we did like one-on-one fights, like a
Yeah, like a tournament style
tournament
1v1.
style, I probably have.
I don't see
I
it going well
think-
for me.
I
think-
I'd be fucked.
I think Kelly might want to do a battle royale at like 5, 10, 15, and 20 as we level up.
Yeah.
Just for, like, power split.
Just
Yeah.
to see where we're at.
Well, this
Yeah.
would be the place to do it in the Colosseum.
Imagine what we'll do is we'll leave,
He'll push us to
level
another
up,
plane.
come back to the 3 months later,
Yeah.
and then
I think he might do a
He'll push us into another dimension or some shit.
yeah. I think he wants to do it like
yeah.
like as a non-canon thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
oh, we can just you can murder each other and it's not gonna stick.
Yeah, because I've done it in another campaign, and the winner got like a reward.
Yeah.
So the way that they did it for us, because we had a campaign with 5 players, but then only 3 of us were really available for one session. So the DM basically took our characters, put us somewhere else, and then there were 3 items, one of which would be beneficial to each character. So my character being a cleric, I got a fucking cool +2 sword.
Nice.
The barbarian got braces that raised his AC and gave him advantage on dex saves or something. And then the rogue got like a cape with patches on it, and you pull the patches and it gives you certain items. So that if
Oh,
there's
yes.
a patch of potions, you can pull the patch,
Yep.
you get 3 potions. So we all grabbed what we wanted, and then he was like, cool, now you have to fight for it. Whoever wins gets to keep their item, whoever doesn't, too bad. And I was like, fuck! Guiding bolt! It was very interesting. I did lose,
Yeah.
but
I think it would be really cool to have that, because I think with the characters we have, I think at different levels, different people would win.
yeah, well that's
Right
the thing.
now, Nina's annoying, but because she's only got a certain limit to how many times she can shape,
Yes. Well, that's
that makes her
that's what's stopping her. She wants to spellcast, but she can't do it in beast form. She can maintain concentration. That's it.
But she can't cast spells in beast form.
Yeah.
So
Which
at this
I've
point in
noticed.
time, she is completely like subduable.
Yeah.
You can finish that druid if you need to.
The moment she gets the ability where she can just keep shifting, then we've got some problems.
Then we're fucked.
And then animals that can do multi-attack.
That too.
Yeah. Like,
It's gonna be fucked. But
Basically-
I'll get polymorph at one point, so
Yeah.
who knows?
Because that's the thing, like,
So what
with
happens?
me and Nathaniel's character, it'd be interesting because, like, he's two weapons, he can, like, hit twice, like, proper, like, two weapons. Or, like, the shield, like, it'll just offset that way. And I've
Yeah.
also got spells on top of my shit, so.
Yeah. You've got
Like,
and you've
that's
got
what
your
When you hit fucking hard.
yeah you've
Yeah.
got you've got your paladin smite
I
ability.
need to land
But I
it
can
in
only do, like,
first.
three.
You need to get
You've
some
got a
magical swords.
You've got a high armor class. So yeah,
Yes.
I would love to have a magical item, like a magical katana or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
I reckon we could do
I
it.
need higher AC. That's what I need.
Kelly might do the thing where he lets you, like, when we get to, like, a cool magical, like, crafter, he might let you, like, infuse them. Or you can technically do it yourself, but that's solid.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking cool to have like air-powered swords.
It's cool.
Because of
We got so much that we can do with that
cultural
campaign.
background.
Fuck
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, so Final Fantasy 14, D&D, it's basically been my life. It's good fun.
It's fantasy.
Yeah.
Well, Final Fantasy, I like it, it's fantasy.
Oh,
It's just
it's-
like whack. It's just
That's, yeah, that's the
final whack.
There's some,
Fantasy.
Whack.
some crazy races in that game.
Yeah, man.
I'm a
like
little,
crazy classes
I'm a
like
little
that.
furry boy with ears and a little wolf tail, but then you can get like literal midgets.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can get like some dude with like bones on his neck.
Yep.
And big motherfuckers that are
Oh,
just.
man. Apparently that game is also really good for like fan service in terms of like there's a bunch of little references to people like me who have played every Final Fantasy game where I'll be like, oh my god that, oh my god that, oh my god that.
Yeah.
We
Apparently
have to
that's-
fight Sin, that one guy's dad that was also a whale, and God.
I wouldn't be surprised if people do raid boss at some point.
Well, I know they've done like heaps of raid bosses that have been references to like summons and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And heaps of.
Do you get chocobo mounts?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. I
think
think,
you also get
I think it's your
one.
first mount. I think all mounts are fun.
Chocobo armor.
Yeah.
That's cool. Anyway,
It's good fun.
what's next?
Yeah, you can dress up your chocobo. Yes. My friend's got a chocobo in a wizard costume. It's very interesting. Yeah.
It's a Chocobo Mystery Dungeon then.
More or less.
That's great.
I like that game. Then I got to a roadblock. I'm like, I don't want to play this anymore.
This game. Fuck this game.
Anything else?
And that's it for me.
No, that was it.
No, that's it for me.
Anything for you?
The only thing really that because we talked about the D&D stuff that we've done.
Yeah.
The only thing really is the two games. One is Cyberpunk 2077. I played that.
Did you finish it?
No, fuck no, fuck no.
I only just got I got up to the end, I think, of the intro, and I never finished the intro properly.
That game is
Where he's like, "You gotta see the burn."
That game is not just broken and glitchy, it's also just bad.
I do love the memes that came out of it.
Oh, the memes are great. It was great meme fodder, and like I feel really bad for the developers.
You're gonna have to ask my mom if you want to sleep over. Wake the fuck up, mommy. I piss the bed.
So stupid. But yeah, that game is boring. Yeah, that was the thing. That was the thing that was most disappointing about it. It was just boring.
Some people I know really enjoyed it. Righty really liked it.
No, he plays it because he's addicted, but he recognizes that it's broken.
Alright.
Oh,
Well, yeah, it's broken, but he
broken
likes
is not the problem because, like, for me, broken games they'll eventually fix that part. But the thing is, once it's fixed, it's still not a game I want to play.
I think it's a good game to play with other people around. If you're playing it and you're
It's a
with
single
somebody
player
and
game.
it's a single player game. But you know how there's like
Yeah,
those
no, I get your
games
point. Like, it's
that are-
ultimately failing a point.
that are awesome to play because it's a good game to have a conversation around as you're playing it.
Yeah,
But
it just felt like a game that was developed in like 2010. Like it really felt like a game where they're like, oh, remember that GTA 4? Yeah, that was real good.
Well, that was
we're
the
like,
thing.
then
"That's-
GTA 5 and then GTA 5
Yeah,
and then GTA 5.
yeah. But it's like, guys, we've done that before. Like everyone in like who's playing your game has done that and wants
Yeah.
something different.
Yeah.
Which is why everyone loved The Witcher 3.
Yeah, and The Witcher 3 had like, and I think it was the breadth of story as well. Like, I just felt like there was a lot of stuff that happened in the first. Like, once you finish that sequence and you get dumped into the open world, you kind of get out, and I'm like, okay. And I started getting phone calls from a random lady that I had never interacted with. Don't know who they are.
Was that T-Bug?
Oh, I can't remember now. I don't even remember their names. They're fucking forgettable everything is.
Yeah.
But I started getting phone calls from these people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you come do some jobs for me." I'm like, "I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Like, I've never met you. How do you know who I am?"
Yeah, my number.
Like, they just missed all this, like all the flavor that makes Witcher good is completely removed from this.
I was very interested to see, because a lot of the sequences in this game where something would happen, you could either fight your way out, talk your way out, or buy your way out in these situations. So I was like, what would happen if I had a shit ton of cash right at the start of the game and just bought my way out of every situation? So I did that. I bugged the game so that I had a shit ton of money, and it made everything super anticlimactic.
It does.
You like walk into a place and they're like, if you fuck up, we're gonna kill you. It's like, here's 10 grand. Have a nice day.
Yeah. That's, man, that game is, And then the other game, so I didn't even bother finishing it. I don't think I ever will go back and play it. I think it's sad what happened to CD Projekt Red as well, like what's been happening to them, because it's not, I mean, it's on them, like they shouldn't have released a buggy game, but like they didn't deserve to get hacked. That stupid fucking
I
douchebag.
didn't know about that. What happened?
Yeah,
They got ransomware hacked, and the fucking note that dude left was just it was like from early 2000s. It literally said you have been epically pwned. Was how that note started.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So they stole a bunch of source code and HR documents and internal numbers and shit, and apparently it's been sold on the dark web and a whole bunch of other bullshit. And so the poor CD Projekt Red people are just trying to fix the fucking game, and then they're getting this dumped on top of them. Like, it just sucks. It's not a fun game. And so then, because I'm a sucker for masochism and decided I was going to then play Mass Effect Andromeda, fuck me, right?
Broken
Yeah,
games.
fixed for the most part.
It's weird, that game, because like I get like playing it. I'm like, actually, this is not like I dropped onto the first planet. I was driving around and playing the game and shooting and killing and all that kind of stuff. And it's actually kind of fun. It's not too bad to play, but the strength of Mass Effect is its characters and its story. And I went through a full dialogue wheel with a person. There's a specific character at the start where you walk onto the ship, like you walk onto the arc, the first arc that you get to, which is meant to be like the citadel for the Andromeda galaxy. And you walk in, you talk to this person who is in charge of the colonization effort. They're the head of, like, when they land on a planet, their job is to make sure everything runs smoothly so we can get stuff. And you walk in and you're like, holy shit, where's everyone? What's going on? And this person immediately hates you. No reason, they just do. They just don't like you. I'm like, okay, that's fair. I've just rocked up out of nowhere. It's fine, you can be a little bit angry at me because things are not going right at the moment. And then I go and talk to them, and I do a full set of dialogue wheel, like, so what's going on with this? So how's this happening? What's happening over there? Who's this person? Can you give me more information about this scenario? And I go through all of that, and she talks to me like there's not a problem. No issues, just fine. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess maybe the character is chilled out. Maybe that's it. And then I finish the conversation, and she ends it with like, yeah, now fuck off, go away. And I'm like, what? We just had a whole conversation with no issues, and now you're like, pfft, and the characters aren't written well, and that's the problem I can see with the game, is that like every character is like, why are you suddenly angry at me or suddenly fine with me just because it feels like the characters are emotionally either angry or happy with you depending on what the story narrative dictates, as opposed to their actual emotions changing. That's really frustrating. But I'm going to keep playing it because there's something there.
There is something.
There's something there that I'm kind of like, narratively, I think there's something there.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's kind of it. Like, I've talked about pretty much everything else I've been doing.
The other thing I wanted to quickly talk about was WandaVision.
Yes.
I haven't watched any of that.
It's really good.
I keep hearing it's really
That's
good.
why I wasn't going to talk about it.
It's really good. Like,
You don't like it?
No, I'm not caught up.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to talk about anything particularly. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so in the latest episode.
It's really good. Like, I recommend. And like, we took that year off of Marvel. And I'm like, good. Like, I had some issues with Endgame. I'm just like, cool.
Really?
Yeah, in terms of like time travel and like how they treated Thor, like it was just not.
Oh, that's right. We did talk about that. We did
Yeah.
talk about that. Yes.
And then
yes.
so I'm just like, okay. And then I'm like, cool, I'll just take a break. And then the COVID happened, so everyone was forced to take a break. But then listening to the Marvel song, like the intro music across the Marvel label, just like every week, it's like, oh yes, it's
Yeah, it feels good.
and then like
I
getting
love
into like, and then the plot of the show is just like exactly what I'm like. It's meta, and it's like, but then like it's like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
There's so much
I think it's
mystery.
really.
They do a lot of callbacks, especially like with the magic trick with the guy from Ant-Man.
Yeah, I think it's really weird that we've got this WandaVision thing coming out, and then it looks like we're going into Falcon and Winter Soldier, which seems so straight laced. Like, just this is basically a Marvel movie and a television show. Like,
Winter Soldier was TV. But that
Yeah.
was the way this was originally all going to come out was Black Widow, Eternals, which I'm like, okay, yeah, then Phase 4, that makes sense. We'll go back to our more like stock standard and more of a Guardians type, like, or what are these like God type Eternals?
Yeah.
And then they introduce you in the TV, we'll go Falcon and Winter Soldier. Because like, straight lace, it's going to be, you know these characters, and then we'll get weird with WandaVision and Loki.
Yeah.
But just because WandaVision was pretty much just filmed on a set for the most part, like
Yeah.
they didn't need to do too much. They just pumped it out, didn't need to do any reshoots, and then it's the only one done. Put it out.
It's kind of crazy what COVID did to the Marvel machine.
Yeah.
I like how. To me, it's fucked with my head a little bit because it's been so long since Spider-Man: Far From Home came out.
July 2019.
And we watched that. And that was based how long after Endgame? 8 months after Endgame? Something like that.
It's really soon after.
Yeah.
It's not long.
Yeah, well, it's a few months. Something
Yeah.
like that.
As opposed to
But WandaVision is based 2 weeks or something like that. Something like really soon
After
Endgame.
Endgame?
Yeah.
Or okay.
After Endgame. So it's based really close after
All the information I got, I had assumed this take place after Infinity or somewhere in
No,
right? Okay,
it's
yeah.
after Endgame. Yeah.
After Endgame.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
I know
Fascinating.
they've talked about it before. They're not really going to have anything that's based between Infinity War and Endgame.
Oh, okay.
It's just like the Ant-Man movie.
Because they
If
fucked.
they
with-
did,
because
yeah.
that's fucked.
And they don't really want to get
Because they've got a 5-year gap here, and they're like,
and they don't really want to fuck around like the geopolitical
I
certain
feel-
like
yeah.
situations of that. Just
I
like,
feel
what does that
like
mean?
I feel like they did that 5 years later, Endgame, purely for the gasp of the audience when it happens.
Yeah.
And then when they finished it, they're like, all right, cool. So what are we gonna do about that? Nothing. Good, because we don't want to touch it. Like it's there is too much in there.
But yeah.
And the time travel thing is fucked. Yeah, I totally get your
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still really like the movie, but yeah, no, WandaVision, 10 out of 10, recommend everyone watch it.
It's been really good with reveals. It's been really good with explanation.
Like you ask the question.
Loving Vision. Like I had no ties to Vision when he died. I was
Even
like,
Wanda.
Yeah,
Even Wanda.
Or Wanda. I couldn't give a shit about either of them. But now I'm like, I love these lovable rascallions. Like
Yeah.
they're good.
Okay.
The side characters from all sorts of other Marvel movies, I've come to love them. Rambo from freaking Captain Marvel, the detective guy from Ant-Man, and
Darcy from
Kat
Thor.
Dennings.
Yeah.
Sure. It's on my list. So I kind of wanted to, because it's finishing up soon, isn't it?
One last episode next
So I was
week.
thinking of because I did it with The Mandalorian. I waited till it was all out and I just watched it all in a weekend.
Yeah.
Because it's just
Both ways work. Like when you're watching it week to week, you're developing theories and stuff like that. You're like,
Yeah.
what's happening? Like this is all.
Yeah.
Like that's what I like about this show. It's like very theory heavy. What is it? Whereas I think like Falcon Winter Soldier, you can have like where they're gonna go, but it's not gonna be like meta.
it's gonna be it's gonna be straight laced.
Yeah, which I'm excited for because I really like Winter Soldier and like the actors talk like this is pretty much a sequel to Winter Soldier in terms of the vibe and the politics of it.
That's cool.
I'm like, cool. Do we want to talk about Pokemon, or have we talked about, or have we had enough?
Well,
It's kind of the last thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, quick idea. Do we want to make it a separate podcast, or do we want to tap it on?
Separate
Or
podcast.
do we want to take a break as well?
Sure.
Let's make a separate podcast. Finish
cool.
this one up and do a
And
different
we'll
one.
do a Pokemon.
And we'll do a Pokemon podcast. All right, guys.
So, now that you know how the sausage is made, thank you for watching the show. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions for the show, please comment below or email at amalgamshow.com. Are you liking WandaVision? What's your opinion on Final Fantasy 14? Do you like our D&D discussions? Let us know, please. We'll pump out another video. The topic, the question I'm going to ask. Pokemon, is Legends Breath of the Wild? That's what the Twitter conversation is. See, that's why. Until next time, catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.